Hello everyone and welcome to Disadvantaged. This is our third session 0. We finally put a name to it and I'm getting a little bit better at running these games. So, you know, small steps for improvement. It's awesome. Today we're doing our session 0 with Tip, who's going to be introducing us to Mozus.
Yeah. I'm Mozus.
All right. So, after roaming the desert for quite some time, for some unknown reason that we're not going to go into, you decided to abandon the troop that was following you and devote yourself to learning the ways of the arcane forces. You stumbled upon the city of Wasset, the capital of Egypt, which of course you knew. You didn't realize you were that close, but luck would have it. There you are. You find your way around the city, getting familiar with the terrain, the buildings. You managed to find or come upon the Sorcerers Guild, which you'd been looking for, and you asked around, and there were some very helpful people. They took you in, and for the better part of the last year or so, you've been training with them and learning their ways and reading lots and lots of stuff, because sorcery is, you know, a thing.
Pretty awesome.
So, as you're sitting in your chambers, early evening has crested the city. The night sky sparkles like a backlit canopy with holes punched in it. The pale light of the moon seeps in through your window, and you hear a small knock on your door.
Oh, I guess I should open it.
All right, so you walk over to it and open it up.
Yep.
A tall, slender, dark-skinned humanoid with hints of elven features comes stalking into your room. You recognize him as Jackass, the half-elf that vouched for you when you showed up on the steps of the guild. He approaches. Brother Mozus, pardon the interruption, but Grandmaster Scanlan has sent me with a message. You've been training with us for the better part of a year, and the Grandmaster believes you are ready to move into the next step of your training. You are to be one of the featured arcanists to demonstrate your skills at a large competition tomorrow. Should you pass, you will be granted into your next level of sorcery. I'm sure you're excited about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Very well, very well. He hands you a blank scroll. Mr. Scanlan says you'll need this.
It's blank.
So, upon inspection, actually, you know what? Go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception change?
So, as you inspect the parchment that he gave you, there seems to be some sort of shimmer to its surface, and of course, you would recognize, because you've seen this used before around the guild hall for many things. It definitely has some arcane energy infused into it. Now, you wouldn't need to ask. So this is actually it's a scroll, a spell scroll, but it's been enchanted by the Grandmaster himself to allow you to use any spell that's available to a sorcerer regardless of their level. For the purposes of this test, he's giving you great power. And Davkas looks you in the eye. Sir Mozus, you know what this is. Please be careful with it. Don't do anything stupid.
Would making a copy be considered stupid?
It would be considered very stupid. However, you are not skilled enough to be able to copy this enchantment.
Damn. Okay. I won't do anything stupid.
Very well, very well. So show up to the tournament grounds tomorrow, midday.
Okay.
Very good. And so he backs out and he leaves. You close the door and you're left to your devices for the rest of the evening. Did you want to just sleep through the night and start the next day?
Yeah.
All right. So nothing happens overnight. You get a good solid rest. Though you do have a bit of a dream. I wouldn't say it was a vivid dream, but you're definitely excited for the competition to come, and you're having dreams of all the different spells that you know of, that you've heard of, that you've seen other sorcerers use, and in your dreams you're able to wield any arcane force to any way you'd like. And you wake up in the morning and you're feeling very jittery and excited and invigorated. So you're up in the morning, we'll say for posterity, you've had your breakfast, you gather up your things, you grab the scroll, and you head out of the guild.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm heading out of the guild. It is the morning time. I'm just gonna go for a stroll.
All right. Is there anything you're looking for?
Nope. Just like to wander.
All right. So you start roaming the streets that you've come to know very well. You know where every brothel and inn and tavern, and you know the best shops and where they are, and all the little beaten paths and every hidden section of this city you've come to know, because you do enjoy getting up in the morning and walking around and exploring in places you've never been before and allowing your mind to wander. As you walk the city streets, you are met with the normal cacophony of sounds of this city that's teeming with life. You hear children playing and screaming and laughing. You can hear the hammering of the smiths and the glazers' benches from the porcelain and glass blowers. Merchants are trying to lure shoppers into a deal, and the priests, of course, that line the city streets are going about their daily prayers and just demonstrating to people, anybody that'll listen really, why their God's the best and that sort of stuff. The deep stench of manure that wafts from the nearby farmlands mixes with the heavy urine from the tanneries, and it sits thick in the air. And despite the fact that you've been here almost a year, there's something about this particular part of the city when you walk through it that it still turns your stomach a little bit.
Yeah. Best to avoid that part of the city.
Absolutely. So you walk for the better part of probably 2.5 hours just around the city, visiting some of your favorite quiet spots, popping into a few shops, doing some errands. Is there anything specific you want to do before you head to the arena?
I want to go to a tavern and have a drink.
Okay. Luckily for you, you're just around the corner from your favorite tavern.
Of course.
So the guild hall, I'd say, is about the southwestern corner of the city. Yeah, southwestern corner of the city. And knowing your roots and the things that you wanted to see and the things you had to do, I'd say you kind of went counterclockwise around the city, and you're now rolling up on the eastern edge, where you know of a very wonderful little tavern called the Lonely Scarab. It's nestled in off the side of the road. It's a quaint little inn. It's got a certain charm that people wouldn't expect to find in a large city. All right, so you walk through the door, and a couple of the locals, they look up. Mozus, how are you?
I'm doing well.
So you're greeted by most people, and of course you notice, or you see, you walk up to the bar, and your favorite barkeep, a gruff human known as Bankole, who owns and runs this place. He's the barkeep here, and you've become quite friendly with him, and you approach the bar, and he sees you, and his eyes kind of grow like, greetings and salutations. So good to see you, Mozus. What can I do for you?
I'll have an ale.
Very good, very good. First one's on the house. And he,
of course,
fills up an ale for you and drops it down. It's so good to see you. Will you be going to see the competition?
Yes, I will see the competition.
Okay. Make a deception roll.
Deception, huh? Deception.
No, actually, no. Do persuasion. Do persuasion.
Persuasion.
Yeah, because you're not trying to lie to him per se. You're just not telling him the truth.
Yep.
That's not good for you. Oh, that's strange. The Grand Master was here last evening saying that you would be participating.
I will be participating by watching. Is that a deception roll?
That is definitely a deception roll. he gives you a stern look, and knowing you for as long as he has, he lets it pass, and he just laughs. Always a jokester.
Yes, it was a joke.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, I will be back after the competition.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And he gets pulled away by some other patrons that are approaching the bar, and you guys, you're standing there finishing your ale. One of the barmaids, who obviously you also know, human, female, younger, much younger. She's about medium height, slender build, blonde hair pulled back into a tight bun at the back. And of course, you know this is Khabar, who is Bankhole's daughter. And she finally recognizes you after lurching over to the bar with arms full of empty plates and mugs, and slams them down. And Sir Mozus, it's so good to see you.
How are you doing?
Oh, it's quite fine, quite fine. We're a bit busy today.
I can see that. Are you going to the competition?
Oh, I'd like to, but I don't think...
Then you're going.
You'd have to speak to me father. I don't think he'll let me go.
Of course he will.
Right.
Do I call him over?
I'll leave.
Let me clap.
Yes, Mozus. Is there something else?
Shit, I forgot her name. Khabar is gonna go to the competition today. I need an assistant. That's a persuasion.
That would definitely be a persuasion roll. I'm not sure that I can afford to let her go today. Go ahead. Was that your persuasion roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not having it. We are far too busy today. I cannot afford her. I would let her go if you could procure a replacement.
Okay.
Very good. When I see your replacement, I will allow Khabar to go. In the meantime, Khabar, they need refills over there. And she picks up the jug of fresh ale and makes the rounds around the table again, filling up various cups and the like.
Okay. Is there like a barbarian or maybe a bard or someone I can get in here?
There are various patrons around the room, which some of them are familiar to you. You've spoken to them before. Some you haven't seen as often, but there's no one here that really stands out as new or anything like that. Pretty much everyone that's in here now is, you've seen them before. You know that they're locals.
What about a dog?
As a barmaid?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Well, let me just walk up to the first local that's not this person I'm trying to convince to come to my competition. Yeah, let me walk up to the first table. I'm just going to pick someone.
Okay, so you approach the table, and this is actually somebody that you've seen before. A taller but still lanky human. He's one of the city guards. His name is Cole. You've spoken to him a couple times. You're not his favorite person, but he doesn't hate you. He's kind of just neutral. Oh, there's that sorcerer guy again. So you approach him at his table.
So, what are you up to today? That's an insight roll.
No.
No, that's not an insight roll.
No. You're not trying to judge his character or anything like that. An insight roll would be during a conversation if you feel like maybe that person isn't telling the truth or they're holding something back, you can try and insight check them. But for this, you're just having a conversation at this point. He's got his head down and kind of in his ale, and he slowly looks up to you and, oh, hello, Mozus. I planned on drinking most of the day. Something I can help you with?
What if I had an exciting opportunity for you? that instead of drinking most of the day, you could make some change.
Go on.
I need to borrow someone associated with this bar and need someone to take their place.
Do I look like someone who works in a bar to you? Sir, I am a rank.
You look like someone that spends a lot of time and knows what people like.
That may be true, but I'm no server.
I said associated with the bar. I didn't say anything about serving.
I see the way things are run around here, whether it's Khabar bringing drinks or Bankhole pouring them, you're still serving nonetheless.
It depends how you look at it. Would you consider yourself a leader?
I aspire to be a leader.
So what better way of aspiring to be a leader than to learn from one of the best leaders of men in this town?
Go ahead and make another persuasion check.
Persuasion? Haha.
Okay. His eyes kind of brighten up a little bit, and you've piqued his interest with the mention of coin and learning a leadership role from somebody. He says, "What would I have to do?"
You're going to have to serve people their drinks. But part of that is talking to people. And I'm sure you and I both know that certain leaders like to come in here from time to time. And I have it on very good authority that one is.
That does sound good. And you said there's coin to be had.
Of course, people leave coin all the time. And I'm sure you will get your fair wage.
He kind of mulls it over in his head a little bit. He looks away from you back into his tankard. He picks it up and swirls it. I'll tell you what. I'll do it, provided you can convince Bankhole to allow me 1 day of free drinks. I'll do it free of charge.
Yeah, I can do that. Where's Bankle?
So you walk back over to the bar.
Bankle.
Hello.
So, what if you had a barmaid, I guess would be the correct term, that could hold their own in a fight and act as security at the same time, free of charge?
That sounds too good to be true. But if they can hold their own pouring drinks and clearing tables, it sounds okay.
Well, there's one little catch. 1 day of free drinks for this individual.
Who is this individual?
Captain of the guard?
And he's just a high-ranking officer, isn't he?
Oh. Cole?
Cole.
Cole. It's gonna be Cole.
You mean that one? Drunk.
Yes.
Over there. Staring at his tankard.
Yes.
Oh, he does drink a lot. What about a half day?
Has to be a day.
Has to be a day. 3/4 of a day.
If you pour him some strong drinks.
I believe we have a deal.
Sounds good.
Khabar, come here. Yes? You are going to have the day off. You're going to travel with Mozus. Oh, it's quite lovely, quite lovely. I'm so happy to hear it. And I just need a minute to change.
Take your time.
All right, so she runs off and she gets cleaned up, and that 20 minutes later-ish, which, as we all know, relatively quick for a woman.
Yep.
She the best clothes that she would own as the daughter of a barmaid. It's a silk robe. It's not too ornate. Very simple purple color with fine silver inlay on it. You can tell that Bankel probably dropped a few gold on it, but it's not as fine materials as you've seen before. But nonetheless, she comes down looking absolutely stunning, and she rushes up to you and grabs you by the arm. Oh, it's going to be a lovely day.
Yes. Shall we leave?
Oh, indeed we shall.
Let's go.
All right, so you head out of the tavern. Are you going straight to the competition?
Yes. Going straight to the competition.
All right, so you make your way to the competition, and the Davkas, the one that told you about the competition and how you're going to be going there to basically graduate your first year of sorcery school, he told you don't worry about going to the front gate, just go around back and you'll be let in and all's taken care of. There's no security to worry about. So you
Awesome.
do such, and you find yourself... actually, you should be able to see this page now, I think.
Yes,
The stairs, did you see?
Yes, I see it. Yeah, I got it.
So now you can control your character. So right now, you are in a backstage area that's right there. You're rushed in, and oh yes, of course, we've been waiting for you. You're seated and just told to wait your turn. Couple minutes pass, idle chit chat with Khabar. You're just getting to know her and being a oddly nice and pleasant person for once.
That's all about to change.
You see this gentleman in purple. He approaches you. And good afternoon. I believe you were the one they call Mozus?
Yes.
Very good, very good, very good. There are 2 other sorcerers in this competition against you. The idea, when it's your turn, is to come out and perform the most spectacular display of arcane magic that you can think of. Can you do this?
Oh, of course.
Very well, very well. Let's get started.
Okay.
So I'm just speed this up a little bit. He goes out, he introduces himself to the crowd and gets them a little bit riled up, lets them know what's happening. We're going to have a competition of sorcery. Each of the 3 sorcerers you see today will put on their best display. So he calls up the first sorcerer. Let's call him Bunky.
Okay.
Because why not? And hang on. One more name. There we go. So Bunky heads out, and it takes him a minute. You can see peering through the curtains that he's very nervous. His hands are kind of shaking, and in your year of study or so, you can tell that that's not any way to really perform an arcane function. He doesn't seem to have a scroll like you do. They are trying to wing it as best he can. So there he stands in the center, and he takes a second to focus and calm himself, and his hands come together, and you can see the arcane energy flowing between his fingers as he concentrates on the spell. Plumes of gray and purple smoke start emitting from his hand up into the air in a grandiose gesture. It's purple clouds, but surrounding the edges, he's managed to put in the visuals of flaming daggers that are slowly spinning in a circle, and they come to stop as a symbol of Amun, the god of the temple that's in this great city. And he holds it there for a second and really focuses it, and then in a massive flash of lightning, everything goes away. The crowd cheers. Mediocre. They seem okay about it. They're not particularly blown away. They've seen this kind of stuff before. So they kind of, ooh, yay, yay. And he happily walks off and seems all right. The Priest of Osiris comes up again and introduces the second sorcerer. His name is Charles.
Okay. Charles is in charge.
So Charles is in charge. He comes up to the center of the stage and very confident, no shaking, pulls out a scroll. You can see it's exactly the same as the one that was given to you. Charles is standing there confidently in the center. He closes his eyes to focus on the spell that he wants to do. You can see from where you are the parchment that he's reading. You can see letters or words starting to form on it and fill out quickly. And then in a puff of fire, the scroll burns in his hands. And about 20 feet in the air, through no hand gestures, nothing that he's doing per se, it's basically the coolest little light show that you've ever seen. Even though they don't exist in this day and age, it's akin to like a laser show.
Okay, I got you.
So you would know that he used hypnotic pattern, and as it's going off and going, you can see a lot of the crowd just blankly staring at it. Little bits of drool coming out of their mouth, and then in a flash, the spell ends. A lot of the crowd shake their heads and they're not really sure what happened, and then rah, everybody goes crazy for him. Chances are they were charmed in that spell. So at the moment he seems to be the favorite. Nobody really gave a shit about Bunky. So Priest of Osiris comes out again, clapping. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Our last display for the day comes from someone you may know. You've seen him around. You know him. You love him. Welcome, Mozus. And some people cheer for you. They know who you are. And yay, Mozus. And go.
Okay, so I can cast any spell, right?
Any spell on the sorcerer's list. At any level, it does not matter.
So, I am going to cast Wish. It's
okay.
The mightiest spell a mortal creature can cast. And I can alter the very foundations of reality. I'm going to pull a Thanos and make reality whatever I want it to be. So, what do I do here?
1 second. So, it's instantaneous, which is the mightiest spell one of people casting speaking aloud. You can use basic spells. Duplicate any other spell of 8th level or lower. You don't need to meet any requirements in that spell, including costly components. Okay. You don't have to do anything because this is a competition. There's nothing. You can just cast it and then make it do any one of the options that are in here.
Okay. I am casting Wish, and Mozus knows this. My wish is that I win.
Read a little further. That's not one of the options.
What?
So it does say that you can alter foundations of reality in accordance with your desires. Oh, wait a second. I misread that. Alternatively, you can create one of the following effects of your choice. Yeah, I'm gonna say for the sake of this competition, that's cheating to just say that you win.
Well, shit. That was the whole point, was to cheat. Fuck it, let's just do... Can I do a two-parter?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I need to teleport Khabar onto the floor. And then I am going to cast
What else is on that list?
Sacred Flame on her.
On her?
Yep.
If that does what I think it does, that's not gonna work well for you.
Fine. Not Sacred Flame.
Yeah, that's a damage cantrip. I mean, you can do it if you want to kill her.
Well, no, I don't want to do that.
What if we extend this to any spell in the spell book?
Any spell in the spell book, so even a bard spell?
Bard spell, warlock spell, wizard spell, ranger spell, paladin spells. Because I did say that the scroll that Scanlan gave you is for any spell. Okay,
so I have one. I think it's called Otto's dancing spell. I'm gonna make her dance for all the fans. No, that's mean. That's kind of a dick move.
No, I mean you can do that. Otto's irresistible dance. Okay. Choose one creature. Yeah. Begins a comic dance, shuffling, tapping its feet, and capering the duration. Okay, cool. I'm going to have you make just a D20 roll, so just without the parentheses, put that in. And then add your spell modifier.
My what?
Yeah, it should be at the top of your sheet. Do your spell attack damage.
Oh, 3.
So roll the D20 and add 3, and I'll give you advantage, so you take the higher of the 2 rolls that it rolls. Okay, so we'll take the 17. So yeah. To begin this whole thing, Khabar's sitting beside you, and she's so excited to be in the backstage area and just be out somewhere that's not the bar. And then she gets teleported. Suddenly she's in the center of this circle, and her eyes widen as she looks at the crowd, and she becomes very nervous as you start casting this dancing spell. Your hands are swirling and the arcane energy is flowing from it directly at her. And you can see on her face that she has no idea what's going on, but suddenly her feet start tapping and her arms start moving and her body starts moving. Go ahead and tell me exactly how this dance is going to go.
Well, it's gonna be... Have you ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
I have not.
So, From Dusk Till Dawn, there's a scene where Selma Hayek she's a exotic dancer, but she dances with the snake. In fact,
so I'll say for the sake of this that as you're casting the spell, because it's not a concentration spell as far as I saw, you can also, as a bonus action, I guess, cast a minor illusion to make a snake appear if you want.
Yes.
All right. So, being that I've never seen it, describe some of how the dance goes.
So, basically, fire comes up on the side, and she's walking out. She's got her hands above her head, and she's doing sensual movements as the snake is going all around her body, so to speak. Everyone's just staring. Arms are kind of just, very dancery.
So you can see as you're continuing to cast the spell and you're forming her movements, she has a very strong look of worry in her face, as if what she's doing may be too provocative and her father would not approve, but there's nothing she can do to stop it. However, after a few seconds of this, you can see most of the men in the crowd really getting into this, and they're seeing a new light, a new side of Khabar that they've never seen before, and they get behind it and they start cheering and yelling and screaming, and some of the guys they're throwing coppers and silvers on the ground at her and take it off. After a minute or two of this, you teleport her back to where she was in the backstage area.
Yep. Do that.
And then you walk out and you take a bow, and the crowd just loses it. Obviously, you know how to toy with the emotions of the men in this city. You get the feeling that the Lonely Scarab is going to be quite busy for the next few days. And with that, the competition is done, and the Priest of Osiris comes back out and applauds you and nods and gives you a well done. And he hands you a scroll. This is for you. Read it on your own time. Not in front of the lady. Good day. And then he goes out and kind of calms the crowd down a little bit, gives them a little bit of an outro to the competition, and eventually everybody leaves. You take your scroll. You walk Khabar back to the Lonely Scarab, and luckily enough, that's exactly where the scroll told you to go and waited further instructions. So you make your way up to not one of the bedrooms, it's the largest room in the inn. There's 5 bedrooms attached to it. There's a large seating area, a dining area, books and scrolls, and the walls are painted with all sorts of variations on the scarab in different detail and whatnot. And that's where we're going to end this today.